Hello everybody, Reggie Time here with another episode in the Build a Bankroll series. I think it's number 13, but I wouldn't swear to it. I haven't recorded for the last few days because I've been full of cold, I've been tired, I've been on like drugs that have made me drowsy in trying to fight the cold. With me already being diabetic, I sometimes struggle a little bit with fatigue anyway, so when I'm taking medication it makes me drowsy. It hasn't made me the most alert. I've recorded some videos and then just like deleted them because they've been pretty low value content. I haven't been saying too much. I've been kind of drowsing my way through them, and yes, they just haven't been good content, so I didn't bother putting them up. It's not been the bad week. We've gone through the plus £300 mark on Sky during the week in total profit since we moved here. I think I'm at £312 now, which is nice. And I apologise for the taskbar slightly overlapping the tables. For some reason, when I tile the tables tonight, it decides to tile them in a different place. I don't understand why. I can't seem to fix it. So yeah, we're putting up with some unusual tiling, but it's not the end of the world, is it? You still see it on screen. If I can see it, you can see it, so it's not too bad. Starting late with the video tonight because I've been watching boxing all night. Watched a great match between Derek Chisora and Dillian White, is he called? I don't fucking know. It was a great match, even better than the tables, ladders and chairs match through the week that they had. And then I went on to watch the next Unified Champion of the World fight against Melina, and it was very one-sided. But nevertheless, still an impressive performance. So yeah, we're late starting. Well, we don't mind that so much on a Saturday night. Get all the rigs out of the way, or most of them out of the way, and just hopefully put a couple of hours in and rack up a nice win. Just gonna put a small bet out here with the Ace King. I will call a raise if he does raise because of my bet sizing. He's got a 9, good for him. He can have like lots of misdraws. His check back flop just called turn. Now he's raising river. He did actually have the 9, so pretty much all he can have in terms of like value hands. I didn't bet small there to fold. I bet small to try and get called ideally, but you know, sometimes induce some spew or induce some bluff raises. Just turns out he actually just rivered it that time. Probably the best thing that's happened to Man City all day, given they got their asses kicked by Leicester earlier. As you can see at 3 of the tables, we have Keyser Soze to our direct left. This isn't a situation I would ever engineer with a decent regular, but my priority was having position on weaker players rather than not allowing him to have position on me. There's some regulars I wouldn't even dream of letting have position on me. The Keyser is someone that I'm pretty comfortable conceding position to. River the Queen on table 2, so well, I was going to go for some value, and now we're just going to call, and I'm much less confident than I was when I was thinking of value betting. And we chop it. 7-5 chooses that time to bluff. Yeah, so I'm pretty hopeful. We've got 5 8-L tables, which is just, it's not by design, it's just by the other tables that were open in the lobby. And there was an awful lot of reg activity on them to defend suited ace here. I'm not in love with it because these games people limp an awful lot and just what have you, so unless someone's doing an awful lot of pre-flop raising. I'm usually inclined to give it some credit. I'd choke a dog not called that. I would have got off to this race, because this race size is appalling given the pot size. But as it is, we're just going to let it go, because I don't think we're going to get through choke and through Coops. If Coops has got a value hand there, and he only races to 32 into a pot size of whatever it was, 90 something, it's really poor from him. And again, it's just showing like a really poor bet size in here. I'll be interested to see what he turns up with. And again, another really poor sizing. So here's a strong hand here. We can safely assume he has no clue how to value bet, and yeah, he doesn't. He just Tim is so much value there, I guess. And particularly want to play a big pot multi-way with aces, so we'll put 3-bet in. It looks pretty strong here, but never mind. So now it just looks like our friend here wants to get it in, so let's not disappoint him. Unlucky there, sir, I guess. I guess he's kind of just trapped into going with the ace-king there. He probably hates his life, which is why he tanked. But, yeah, he just has to go with it. Yeah, so Coops. Bet and raise 2. It's not a string, it's a strong, isn't it? Not a string holding, it's strong holding. Hopefully as we go on, we'll bust some of these 8-0 tables and replace them with some 10-0, although we're starting so late. I'm not entirely sure how many tables are left that we're not on. Oh, there's some 10-0 tables that could break up and leave us, and there's one 8-0 table, so there is some light at the end of the tunnel. There's probably at the moment about 10 tables running. So if any of our tables do break, hopefully we'll be able to continue 6 tabling, because when we are just starting a session late and expecting it not to finish that much later than usual, it's nice to try and be at full capacity with the number of tables that you're playing. We can afford to sacrifice some capacity for putting a long session in, but when we're starting and we know it's going to be a short session, we really could use having a full complement of tables to play at. Straight on table 2 with a weak flush draw. Hopefully that club is going to slow down Tom down. It doesn't slow down Tom down. If anything, it speeds him up. So we're going to have to just fold now. Could have saved us money. AJ for an AJ victory. I'm very touching of Sky to make such a fantastic tribute to the man. I think we have to call here. I have a good shot too, which I won't be in love with, but a good shot and a flush draw, which are sadly all bricked. Now it looks like NMD's just going for the bluff catch against Max, which I'm not sure I'm in love with. We get raised here by Mr. Unlucky. He's kind of trying to control the size of the pot by putting a block bet out with no flush draw. We get raised. We have to call. Hope to see a black one. We don't. And now we just hope he doesn't bet too much. If he does, we have to tap out. Pair and a flush draw is usually pretty strong, but bottom pair and a flush draw where we've been raised post flop. And what else do you think we got here? Possibly a 9, a queen, all the spades, 3-1 nearly. I think we have to call again. And we do get lucky and make our hand. And we needed to get lucky. The queen was not an out. And we get dunked into on paired boards, like min dunked into, and we have like lots of high cards and things going for us. And we usually make a raise once he leads after a much bigger bet on the turn and the board pairs. Kind of done with it. And we're running good on rivers tonight by the looks of things. And float such a small C bet on table 1. Not in love with it. If he made a bigger bet, I would have just folded, I think. Doesn't look like he's got a queen to me. I'm going to make a play on the river here. I don't really want him to go nuts with a draw now. And we do have the good shot to fall back on. I don't want him to be able to jam a draw on me. I'd rather see a brick river come off and try and make a play on a river. And if he's got a queen, he's just got a queen. I think he can have a lot of like pairs and shitty draws here that have missed. We're not trying to make him fold a queen here. We're trying to make him fold anything that isn't a queen. His sizing hasn't convinced me he's particularly strong. But like I said, I didn't really want to give him the chance to just like jam on me on the turn with like a draw or something like that. So happy with the line we took. Check for the queen 10, I think. Table 4. Don't need to. We're going to be leaving that table in a moment because much as I want to be at maximum capacity, I don't want to be playing three-handed. We might have to keep our eyes on table. And table 4 too, because that's looking dangerously like it might be about to go belly up. I'm sure we're getting all these short stackers tagged. Games seem juicy tonight. And try and get a extra table in the bottom right corner as soon as possible. No opportunities to do that at the moment, unfortunately. And really, if anyone can shed any light onto why my computer or why Sky has decided to tile right to the bottom of my monitor today, having not done it previously. Interested to hear why that might happen, and is there anything I can do to prevent it. Pretty good flop. I'm not going to go with the old half pot nonsense. Well, not nonsense, but half pot stuff that people do on sites that are against like decent tough regulars and they want to be balanced, I've just got top pair, top kicker with the back door, not flush draw, and I'm going to just bet strong for value and just hope Fraggle's got something he can call with. It's not very often you'll find me using balanced bet sizes in these games. It's something that I'll have to work back into my game when I move back up, because I'll be playing against better players, but in these games, not a chance. It's just not very often going to be bluffing in that situation, so I don't need to choose a size that's like going to protect my bluffs or anything like that, because I'm just not going to be doing it with a very high frequency. So I'm just going to bet exploitatively large and not expect people to overfold because of my lack of balance. Because I don't expect them to even notice that I'm imbalanced in that spot. Another table incoming. Just got to choose where to sit. It looks pretty good wherever I sit, so in she comes. So we're exclusively 8-L now, are we? Nope, we're not. Not that it matters, but I would have liked to have got some 10-L action on Saturday night. But never mind. 5 great 8-L tables is probably more preferable than 4 not quite as good 10-L tables, I would guess. Two 7s. And we're going to lose table 3 now. Not interested in battling a red tag player, but a fisher that's got like just £4. We did not see the 7 from that mythical place that some people seem to believe is heaven. How's that for a flop on table 2? Kind of hope he's got a king here or a club. If he's got air, then he's just going to fold, but never mind. He does call, which means he either has a king or a club, or maybe 10-Jack, I guess. Obviously, he can't call with clubs or anything like that, so he's going to make a big bet and hope he's got the king. Hard to make money with quads. Somebody posted the quads hand to my Skype group the other day, and they asked if they missed value by not shoving a turn or something like that anyway. And it's just really hard to get value with them, because when you have quads, what can your opponent really have? I mean, yeah, if they have a full house or something, absolutely fantastic, but outside of it being a monumental cooler, what kind of hands can you really expect to get paid off by? The trips on board, someone doesn't have trips because you prevent them from having it, so unless they've got a full house or a straight or a flush, excuse me, you're really not going to be able to make any money from them. Unless somebody does bluff. The ace king wins in the uncontested pot there on table 1. Never an unpleasant occurrence. 10-L table incoming, and it looks good. Hopefully these tables don't break, because I think it feels like there's a good £20 or £30 to be made in short order from these tables, in maybe just an hour or so, a couple of hours. seem to be pretty much got the whole 8-0 and 10-0 lobby to ourselves and NMDD. The keys has gone to bed. He's probably battled all night in really comparatively tough games to his skill level, and then he gets to this time of night and he decides to leave the arena. Makes absolutely no sense, but again, that's why he is decorated with the orange tag, because good regulars don't leave these games. And he leaves so consistently at this time that it's obviously it's a choice he makes. It's part of his strategy is to just stop playing at a certain time of night. And you're not going to rejig your entire life for 5 and 10 NL games. But if you want to build a bankroll, you do have to be making some sacrifices to allow yourself to play and game select well. You might not want to do it. It might make you unpopular at home. But put the hard yards in now and build your bankroll quickly. Before you know it, you'll be playing the 20 or 30 or 40 NL, where you can actually create a little side income for yourself that will hopefully prevent your other halves from nagging the fuck out of you for your poker play, and just enjoy sharing some of the rewards you get from the work you put into your game. King 10, I don't think we can isolate with it, but we could isolate with it, but I don't think it's a great hand to isolate with, so I think we just over limp. That is a king on both table 2 and on table 4. It led into king jack jack. We're just going to call. See no value in raising. Possibly the worst river in the deck on table 2, so we're just going to check. And 4 to flash cash, who has shown a propensity to be passive right now. When he bets into 2 players and he gets called in 2 spots, I'm going to be very cautious with my lone king. I'm going to try and keep the pot as small as possible. Bets again on the river, and he's going to fold here. I think he just has us beat pretty much all the time. Bet check, bet line in a multi-way spot like that. Well, he doesn't have us beat, but neither of them has us beat. That's well, never mind. I guess he's entitled to have us beat there with that line, with the bet check bet. Do not expect to see bluffs pretty often in that spot. So fair play to Andy B for giving it a go, because he's certainly got the best hand out. He just didn't get the guy with the king 5 offsuit out. And I feel no shame. I don't give a single fuck that I folded the best hand there. It just happens if you're playing good poker, sometimes you're going to fold the best hand. And that was a line where he led out multi-way on king jack jack, got called in 2 spots, checked turn and led out river. I think he went hard to believe and beat by at least one of those guys there. And yeah, it didn't work out. We made, if we're looking purely at the results, we made what could be classed as a bad fold. But I don't believe it was a bad fold. Cautious, careful, yes. Guilty, Your Honour, but don't believe it was bad. I guess it's time to hit a jack. Be very careful because we are super deep here. We don't want to be overplaying over pairs too often. I guess we're going to have to be check calling at least once, unless he smashes it, then maybe think about folding. I think we don't really block anything here, so we don't beat anything. I guess I have to call just because we're so deep, but I don't like it because I just don't think he's ever bluffing here. I think we're absolutely miles behind a lot of the time. We're just kind of hoping to hit a 10 really. I wouldn't even be that comfortable hitting a jack. Bets just 256 on the turn, which looks kind of weak, but I'm still just going to fold. My senses run red alert when he just made a smallish 3-bet pre-flop, and once that board comes down and once that board comes down and he continues to bet, it's just a spot where he's going to get to win pretty much most of the time, because I just can't think of too many hands that were doing very well against it all there, except like pure bluffs. We clearly don't beat any of his value bets, and even if we get there, I mean, what are we going to get paid off by? Get there with a 10, you know, with a 4 straight on the board. Get there with a jack, we might still be beat. So yeah, fuck it, it's just a fold. I'm going to put a table up and I'm going to see how it looks if we tile it, because there's just so many good games going on right now. I feel I need to be in them, but it might look dreadful. If it does, I guess we're just going to put up with it. Seem worse. At least I can bring my taskbar back down in place. I've never really wanted to be 7 tabling. If I was going to do this regularly, I would do it through the client and I would use the Windows Cascade feature, but I think we're going to be able to get away with it for now, and I think it's important that I try, because there's just good tables here that are just going begging. Putting the big squeeze on here with the ace king suited. Kind of don't mind our friend the regular getting out of the way and then just leave me heads up with Fraggle. I can definitely live with that outcome. Keeping up with the king jack on what is now table 3. I don't mind if we get action or we don't get action from Fraggle here. It's fine either way. Giving up with the king jack. Wow, 10-5. I think we'll class his flop call as ambitious. So that's a set on table 4 in the top right hand corner, which we like. Which a multi-way part 2, which we also like. No one bets so, which we don't like. I'm not fucking around, just going to bomb at it. If no one's got a king, we're not getting action anyway. Oh, sorry, if no one's got king or spade or something. Not too happy when the spade hits the turn. I guess we have to just bet fold, I think, because I don't think we're going to get raised without bumping into a flush. I'm probably going to check back the river if he calls. Or he folds, call with the ace king. Table 5. This is, I'm fully aware that, by the way, you might have to watch this on a little bit slower speed or go back and watch some spots again. If Mooney has a 3 here, Mooney just has a 3. Fuck my life. He doesn't. We win, which is cool. Mr. NM watches his face, gets us back and re-squeezes us. More than happy to get out of the way with our relatively weak ace, given the situation. Fraggle's gone for it. He's hit top pair and he has moved. And he, unfortunately for us, has just dumped a stack on a regular. And it's unfortunate for us because that means he's one less stack he can dump on us. We flopped a good shot and a backdoor on table 5 in a limped pot. We're certainly going to be taking a stab at this if it checks to us. This is sort of border off via multiple streets, I think, against people with the right stack sizes, because we can get called so often by like medium strength hands that just get to the river and then just can't call the third barrel. So I'm probably going to be triple barreling at this spot at this point. Although Mooney coming along for the ride might well upset that apple cart. I guess we have to stab one more time. I don't mind Roman calling and Mooney folding here. That'd be where I'd fire the river. If Mooney calls again, we're not going to fire the river unless we improve. Mooney doesn't though. So I think we're just going to smash pot on the river or close to it. I think it's a spot we could also consider overbetting. And our plan works, and that's just a good example of setting out with a reasonable plan based on some like reasonable assumptions on what we think our opponent's range looks like, and executing it, not deviating from it. You know, you heard my thought process the entire hand. You know, if Mooney sticks around, we're abandoning the mission. If Mooney goes, then it's going to be all systems go for us to continue the bluff against Roman. And we put a cold 4-bet in there with the ace king. We get called. Our raise on table 3 got called in 2 spots, so we give up. We flopped a good shot in a multi-way pot. So basically we've got an awful lot of not much at the minute in several pots, which is disappointing. Our ace king could still be best against Ducat or whatever the fuck it is called. I guess we're just going to complete with the king 7 and hope to see a lot of 7s or something. Giving up with the ace jack. Giving up with the ace king. Giving up with the jack queen. Awful lot of giving up going on right now. We are going to be taking a flop with the 10-9 suited, even though it's 4x, which is a little bit on the large side. Completely miss, unfortunately. How's that for a flop for 10-9 clubs? The king 4-6, 2 hearts is not what we were hoping to see. I'll raise the ace 8 just because the bet size is ludicrous and we're going to treat it like a check. Notice we had more on table 4, so I'll be looking to keep my eyes open with someone who may or may not be tilted. Checking back the ace-7 when we make the flush draw. Might end up owning ourselves here, but we'll make a 25% value bet on the river. Get called and win, which is cool. Flop the nuts on table 1. Busy video. Busy. That 7th table really has sped things up. I mean, given I've historically struggled with 6 tables on Sky, it's not that surprising, but I think when tables are this good, we just have to be willing to try and push the boundaries of what we can physically cope with. 7 tabling when you've got some shit tables in there, complete waste of time. But if you can 7 table and look at every single table and think, yep, this is a table I can completely justify being at, then it's worth doing. That's another problem that the mistake lots of like mass tabling micro-stakes regulars have is that they just completely sacrifice game selection for volume, and it's a fucking huge mistake for most of them. If you're already just like a moderate winner, the last thing you need to be doing is handicapping yourself by having loads of shit tables taking up your concentration. Going to be bet folding all the way on table 5 or bottom left, whichever way you want to describe it. I challenge you to look at one of these tables and say, you know what, I think that table's bad reg, you shouldn't be at it. But I would feel much better in the client being cascaded at this point. Well, we're coping, so it's alright, I guess. Hope no mistakes start creeping. I'm going to try and stay really focused. I'm going to call this 9-7 because Mooney protects us against Andy being able to see bet pretty light against us, and we flop really strong. This is a real good gambling hand now. We just have to go with it. I'm fully aware that we are pretty damn deep, but we just flop so well. We just have to go with our hand. We just, pair and flush draw and a straight draw. If they've brought up the cooler, they brought up the cooler. Nothing much we're going to be able to do about it. And we are probably doing okay against aces. That 6 is really bad for us. The 8's really good for us. River a full house on table 3, but get no action. For the 9s against Fox Hunters. Min 3 bet because we're not closing the action, and what's his face could easily just 4 bet us out of the pot. And that was a nice pot to win on table 6. He can probably feel a little bit sorry for himself, but when he gets raised on that board with aces, I think jamming it's just, what are you hoping to get called by? I mean, the best you can be is like up against that kind of hand I had. It's like a massive combo draw, which you're probably an underdog to. Without doing the perfect mastering, what do we have there? He had to be an underdog, didn't he? He had the best hand, but we statistically we were just going to win the hand way more than he was there. And I think he can think about getting away from his hand there in multi-way pot. It's been donk, let out, raise, call, and we just put the raise in. For me, if I was in this spot there with aces, I would have folded the flop. Because the very, very best situation you can be in is the one he was in, which is an underdog against most players, certainly against good players. As you can see, I'm not doing anything really particularly special in these games. I'm just trying to see some flops and make some value post flop, and pretty much nothing much more exciting than that. And you don't need to be doing something much more exciting than that. If you want excitement, go and find a roulette game or something. You're here to grind poker. You're here to do the right things. Get your money in when you think you got the best of it, and get out of it when you think you got the worst of it. Wow, that's a big fucking jam. And we can comfortably find a fold there. The situation on table 5 is, if we get shoved on, is not the same as we've just stacked somebody in, just because the board's so much drier. And he's just so short stacked. He's got us beat, which he hasn't. If he did have us beat, it's nowhere near as much of a problem as getting all of your money in like a deep stack spot with one pair on such a dangerous board. I want to make that point so I don't look as if I'm being hypocritical. You can't stack off with overpairs, and then watching me going and stacking off with an overpair. Maybe most of you guys will know how different that situation was, but for some of the less experienced players, who watch the channel, and I know there are many of them. I don't want to be appearing to contradict myself without explanation. Three bet the kings. We sadly get the ace-high flop. Maybe would see bet into one player, but I'm not super excited to see bet into two. I'm just going to fold when our friend value bets with a fish in the pot still. I'm not going to go out of my way to try and create some kind of like dynamic with MND. There's so many fishy players around, we just don't need to be battling with each other. If we were deeper, I would have called with the ace-5 there, but we weren't. That's the first mistake I've made due to how many tables I've got going. Not being able to isolate the king-queen of clubs, so we might need to get rid of a table soon. If the tables start getting short-handed at more than one of them, we might have to choose one to sacrifice. Manic clicking going on. Which one are we sacrificing? Might be this one. Yeah, one needs to go for sure. In fact, I think we'll make it this one. That's a big bet with the ace queen that we can't really get involved with. Yeah, it's definitely going to be this table now, because table 3 has now become 5-handed. Then we have to move that back. And hopefully now we can restore some order, and it won't just be an audio of manic clicks and disgruntled sighs. Guess we could have checked the turn on table 4, but we pick up some extra equity and we can still charge draws. Don't think we have a 3-street hand. Check. And we get to win. Maybe we could have got some extra value from King Jack there, but we get called in 2 spots twice and we end up to get to the river with like top pair marginal kicker. I think trying to bluff catch versus the guy who's most likely to have the draw. I don't think it's unreasonable. Ace is table 4 for those of you who switched off momentarily when there wasn't much happening. And we flopped pretty decent draw on table 1. We have to empty the clip here on table 3. Now we've made a value hand. And the question is, would I have bluffed again if it was a queen? And I think I probably would have. Yeah, it's one of those boards where people can call twice with like pair plus flush draws or pair plus straight draws or what have you. And then when they get to the river and they're just left with a pair all of a sudden, they're less in love with the hand. Led out with that gut shot on table 4. I just betting 8 pence. We probably have to call because he might have some completely random bullshit. He doesn't. He just doesn't know how to value bet his king, or she doesn't know how to value bet her king. But ace high is plenty good enough to call down there. Accrington Stanley, Uday, and David. We just have a naked flush draw in a limped pawn. Table 3, so we're just going to start by betting out. And this is going to be one of those spots again where I think I'm just going to triple barrel. I think the jacks looks like it's possibly giving him 2 pairs with like a 9 jack or something, so he's going to call and try and hit our flush because we're getting good odds. We fail in the making of a flush. I just give up time. Sadly, tables do appear to be, well, 2 of them appear to be looking like they're breaking off. Oh, I didn't get my bet in with my straight. We miss with the ace king. I think we have backdoor equity. I'm going to go for a check jam here. Well, I was going to. Just to like maybe get him to bet fold a hand like pocket sixes, pocket seven, or something like that. Instead, we just choose to river the nuts. And sadly for him, his king queen got drawn out on. Deuce three. Wasn't quite what I was expecting to see. And much as I want to play against somebody heads up who defends deuce three in the big blind, really don't have the time for it right now. It's a shame, but it's going to really put a lot of clutter to the video, and make it hard for me to concentrate. So I'm just going to quit the table. And we've only played for like an hour tonight. But it's been a good hour. I feel like I've made a decent number. Feels like it's been a good plus 25, £30 pounder. I won't know till the end, but that's what it feels like right now. There's hopefully still more to come. Hello, no money, no money, no money. And there's not tons of money around still, is there? No money there. Sadly, we have to fold when David K check min raises this board because we just can't call rivers. Looks like he's setting up to shove and we can't call the shove, so it was a little bit thin on the turn, I guess. But I'm not going to beat myself up too badly for. Oh, no, looks like this table's going to table one. And we might be off for a abrupt end to the video the way things are going, guys, because it looks like he looks like our friend in the reds bringing his session to an end. He is. So yeah, it might be an abrupt end to the video because these tables are broke pretty damn quickly. But nevertheless, it's been a good video. We've had lots of action, lots of fun. Guess I'm going to call with my 4. And I guess we're going to check back. I don't expect to win with the 4, but we do have an element of showdown value. Not enough to beat the queens though. Flop to set on. Yeah, these tables are going out. We'll play the set out. We'll end the recording. Come on, cats, come along. Let's not just take DJ Fiasco's lost a little bit of money. Let's get some CAS money too. No, we don't. Yep, we're going to relieve the fiasco of his last amount of chips. Yeah, and all the tables are going now. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. I've certainly enjoyed it. It's been a short but sweet session. And yeah, we'll be back with another video in the next day or so. Bye-bye for now.